Hello, everybody. Welcome to our survival game news roundup. This week being May 9th to May 15. So we have a few games that have made some developments this week, a few of them with some pretty major updates. So let's go ahead and take a look. On May 14th, Aska came out with its Tinkerers and Armorers update, and this is a pretty long update, so make sure you guys get nice and comfortable. So, one of the things that they have brought in with this new update is you can now remove rocks that were previously unremovable. So, if you've played the game, you might have encountered some of these boulders that you just cannot destroy. Well, now you can remove them. They're mostly decorative, so that's why you couldn't destroy them before. But if you want to get rid of something, if it's like, it's in the way of your build, your town, all you got to do now is make some explosive sacks, which you can get by mining and finding the ingredients and resources there, and you just got to put it as close to the rock as possible, preferably like on top of it, and then that'll destroy the rock no matter how big it is. If it's small or big, just one explosive sack will do, so you can get rid of that and open up some more space for yourself. There's also a number of new buildings that this update brings. The first one being the Armor Smith, as well as the improved Armor Smith. So basically, what they did is they took all the armor making tasks from like the workshop, and they brought it to this new building just to kind of allow players to just have one worker focusing on just making armor. So the first Armor Smith building can craft linen and leather armor, and then the improved Armor Smith can then handle the metal armor. So build that, I guess, if you guys want to start armoring up your villagers. And to add to that, they also brought in a new item called leather scrap gloves. So this is a new pair of leather gloves, so you don't have to use like the old linen ones anymore. They are more durable and they provide better defense against the elements, which is good because that winter, it sucks. They've also brought in a proud chieftain's house as well as a party system. So the chieftain's hut house, you guys can upgrade that now to the next tier, which obviously also gives it better durability. You can paint that one, and it also unlocks a new mechanic called the party. So basically how this works is you have this new villager party system. So it allows you to assign villagers to your party. So once they're assigned to your party, your villagers will follow you around. They can fight off hostiles that get too close to you. But you can also give them like direct orders, which is really nice. I've kind of had a problem having them come, fight alongside me to take care of some of these raids and such. So I'm pretty excited about this system myself. So basically, if you want to give them direct orders, you can have them. You can target resources and basically tell them to go harvest it, pick it up, carry it. You can do the same thing with enemies. So you can target them, tell them to go fight them, and they all have their own carrying capacity. So this allows you to go to town, get a bunch of stuff with everybody, spread it throughout them all, come back to your village, and just have a ton of resources that you can then put to your various storage places. So they still obviously require food and rest to survive, and obviously they are at more of a danger as well if they're out there fighting enemies with you. So make sure that if you're bringing them in your party, come prepared. They've also brought in a improved charcoal maker. So there's an improved charcoal maker that allows you to burn a wide variety of resources and turn them into coal. So it's not just, I think it was like firewood or something that you had to do, something like that. Now you can use different items to make charcoal now, to make coal now, which is very nice. And there's also burning priorities that you can set from the task menu. You can basically reorder them left to right, with left being the highest priority of fuel, and then obviously the ones on the right side, least. And then you can also even prevent some types of fuel from being burned entirely. So if you are a little low on firewood, you don't want them burning that, you can just turn that right off. And speaking of the fuel system and fuel in general, the fuel system actually had a complete overhaul. So basically all fuel burning structures have a new task now in their little task menu, where you can basically control over what actually gets burned for fuel in those systems, as well as where. So basically this allows villagers to look for fuel differently and make sure that they're using the right type of fuel that you want them to use, and they're not burning through the things that you maybe don't want them to burn through. So that is very nice as well. There's also a new resource and fuel type which is called fish blubber and fish oil. So fishing now doesn't just provide your village with meat. It is now how you get fish blubber. And this kind of fatty resource can be obtained from harvesting various types of fish. And you can cook that at the cooking house into fish oil. And then fish oil can then be used instead of resin. So you guys have more control, more choice when it comes to keeping, your runestones and your lanterns lit. So that's definitely very nice as well, because goodness knows I really don't use fishing that much because my hunters do a really good job, so I haven't really needed to fish as much. Now we have a reason. They've also improved the kennel and the healing house. So both the dog's house and the healing house, they have an upgrade. So basically, that increases their durability, but it also allows you to paint it. So go ahead and make some prettier buildings, I guess. There's an improved market. So this new market building increases the number of workers to 3, and it comes also with 3 fresh new carts ready to basically take your goods to the far reaches of your territory. Now, as before, it is far sturdier and can also be painted, much like the other improved buildings. And just like the regular market, you get a slight discount in building costs when creating a market with 3 carts as opposed to building, 3 individual carts. They're also quicker to build once, since there's a one build site for, all 3 of them. So basically a little bit more efficient market. Another new structure is called the Lookout. So basically, the Lookout kind of lets you build literally a lookout, giving you a bird's eye view of your hard work, your views, whatever you really want to use it for. So it's basically this really tall tower. Features kind of like a custom camera setup, so you can see further in the distance at a wider FOV. So it's good for taking screenshots, just chilling out, and you can find this in the decorations tab. I'm definitely gonna be making that myself just to see what it's all about. Now, they have also revamped some enemies. So skeleton and draugr, we have some more variants with that. So you're ready. They have new ancient technology that they have, apparently. So these enemies come equipped with new warhammers, battle axes, and bows. There's going to be a new enemy type called Bashers that wield one-handed hammers and shields, and then another enemy type called Bunkers who wield these kind of mighty two-handed warhammers, and as well as the Headsman who wields these kind of dreadful two-handed battle axes. There's also bronze swords and axes that have replaced basically these certain draugr variants, so they all kind of fit nicely together, like the new guys, the new weapons. Now your new enemies will drop their weapons potentially when you harvest their bodies, and that basically allows you to then make this brand new kind of crafting table called the Tinkerer's Table. So the improved metalworker features this. It's this new workstation basically, which is the Tinkerer's Table. And what you do there is you can study these ancient enemy equipment and tools and such, and you can gain knowledge on what these weapons originally looked like. So the studying process is kind of like this arcane one, and during the process, the item is broken, which gives you these kind of precious crafting materials. It also progresses towards unlocking some new crafting recipes. So you can do this research yourself, or you can have your villagers do it, whichever works for you. But basically, every kind of rusty weapon that you get reveals a very distinct recipe for a reforged ancient version of it. And reforged weapons are superior to their regular kind of iron counterparts in terms of durability and damage. So keep an eye out for these new variants. Try and get their weapons. Hopefully, the RNG system works in your favor. And then go study them, and then you can go, once you've studied enough, you can make some pretty powerful weapons out of them. Now, aside from that, they've also overhauled the painting system. They noticed that players really weren't engaging with it that much, and they figured it's probably because maybe it was a little too complex. So they basically tried to make that a lot easier. So now you can still paint like clothing and armor and buildings, but when it comes to like clothing and armor, the dye that you make, you can basically apply that directly from the inventory. You no longer have to do this kind of painting process at the dyer, and that same thing kind of is true with the painting buildings. They've made that as easy as possible. So why not go ahead and I don't know, customize yourself better, you know? Now, when it comes to clothing, kind of brand new thing I definitely think players should kind of know is that there is now armor and clothing decay. So previously, that was not the case. Clothes and armor did not go bad. They did not decay. They were not destructible. Now they are. So keep an eye on your armor and clothing's durability because, you know, when it's out, it's out. So you're definitely going to need to make sure that you have somebody on the clothing maker, basically making some, you know, clothes over time, some armor over time, because yeah, your clothes are gonna be they're gonna be going bye-bye pretty soon, and you don't want to have your villagers without clothes during the winter. Trust me. So some quite a number of huge updates, honestly, from Aska. On May 13, Enshrouded also had a pretty major update. Their Thralls of Twilight update, and this also honestly revamped a bunch of mechanics, a bunch of stuff. Really seems to be the theme of this week. So the Thralls of Twilight update brought in some Shroud updates. That's kind of like the heart of it, really. So it overhauled the Shrouds, the visual identity of it. So the fog is different, the landscapes are different. You know, it's supposed to be a little bit more immersive, a little bit more spooky. And they wanted to make the Shrouds more dangerous, but more rewarding too. So they've introduced, like, you know, unique new challenges, enemies, and mechanics as well. And the idea behind this was really just to make time spent in the Shroud feel rewarding, for one, but also, you know, like you're really stepping into danger. So the Shroud has received this kind of full visual rework, has updated materials and textures. They've also rewritten their volumetric renderer just to give the Shroud and the clouds there kind of like a higher visual fidelity as well. The landscape overhauls across the Shrouded zones have added a little bit more variety, a lot of more verticality, and reasons to explore too. So for example, there's over 100 new points of interest, from hidden hooks to hidden nooks, try that again, to substantial new encounters that now enrich these kind of shrouded zones. Many existing locations have also been like visually refreshed or reimagined, so it might be worth visiting some towns and such in the Shroud just to see what has changed. And some enemies can apply curses now or diseases with their attacks. So curses, they can be, cures, they can be crafted from the new resources that are spawning within the Shroud. So if you end up, you know, getting cursed or diseased, you know, the cure for you is in the Shroud somewhere. And like I said, there's also new enemies, there's all new creatures, and deadly variants of existing creatures, and they basically want their players to be surprised, challenged, maybe a little overwhelmed, which scares me a little bit, because I play that game mostly solo, and listen, sometimes it can already be pretty tough. But anyway, so they've also introduced a new weapon gem system. So weapons of higher rarity now have a chance for a gem slot. And they make a quick little note here that this does not apply to weapons acquired before this update. So any kind of new weapon of higher rarity after this update, that's where you're going to start seeing a gem slot. So if you're not seeing that on like an older weapon, that is why it's not going to work. But these weapon gems can drop from powerful enemies and be socketed into eligible weapons. So to socket a gem, players must find mystical locations deep within the Shroud. And that is this kind of place called a gem forge. So at this forge, gems can be upgraded, they could be recycled, slotted, and removed, and then each one kind of provides a meaningful customization for your weapons. So it's kind of adds some variety, some more fun to your weapons, especially higher tier weapons. They've also brought in exclusive Shroud rewards. So obviously there's new crafting resources found only in the Shroud. And these unlock powerful new gear and consumables. Some of them being some new armor sets, some new spell types, confusion grenades, critter bombs, as well as mobile repair kits for fixing weapons in the field, which is very helpful. I'm so glad they've added that. So besides all the stuff with the Shroud, they've also kind of revamped nighttime, which I'm also really excited about because honestly, nighttime can feel pretty boring. If you're out and exploring and you don't like have a bed or something to sleep in at night, it drags. So I'm pretty excited they've kind of done this stuff with nighttime. So there's new risks and rewards after dark. So just like I said with the Shroud, they've expanded nighttime gameplay that has like new challenges and more importantly perhaps exclusive rewards for players who are bold enough to explore after the sundown. So for example, some of the challenges they brought in, they're going to have night enemy patrols now. So this kind of nighttime enemy activity has basically been ramped up. You might have noticed them before. Just like, Shroud little Draugr type creatures walking around. Well, there's going to be more of those now. There's also going to be scavenger patrols that roam the roads under cover of night. So watch out for those scavengers. And there's groups of the Fel. That's what they're called, the Fel. They're going to be roaming the lands above at night as well. Just trying to temporarily spread the Shroud. So watch out for those guys. Don't let them do that to you. There's also night blooming flora. These are new plants that can now be found blooming at night across all biomes. These kind of rare blooms have unique crafting materials. They also, some of them provide special food as well. And they're basically also used for stronger versions of existing potions. So keep an eye out for those. Have some fun crafting with those too. There's also these cool things called night temples. It's a brand new type of point of interest that's found in every region of Embervale. So these temples, they can only be entered at night. Their doors remain sealed during the day, and they kind of feature these all new architectural elements. They're filled with dangerous traps, and as always, they offer exclusive rewards for those who can enter and complete them, basically. So aside from all that, they also have these biome visual upgrades. So the whole world really has they've enhanced the visual quality of a lot of biomes with lush new vegetation, refined landscapes, reworked textures, just to bring more depth and beauty to exploration, basically. And they really focused, they did it like, across many, but they really focused on the Nomad Highlands and the Kindle Wastes. They really wanted to give them like a very comprehensive visual overhaul just to bring some new life into those environments in particular. There's also, throughout the biomes, a lot of the points of interest, they have been reworked as well. Not just in terms of visuals either, but also in enemy placement and encounter design, basically just to make those more immersive too. So if you kind of come across somewhere that you've been before, there's a chance that it might be a little different now. And then besides all that, they've even had some time to basically improve player customization. So basically this update 6 here, is going to basically allow you to define your look a little bit more through armor styling as well as character appearance. And through that, they actually introduced a new NPC called Elio Ricci. I want to say his name is. He is a barber, a new survivor who can be found and unlocked via a quest, obviously. And once he's placed in your base, Elio grants access to the full character customization menu, so you can tweak your appearance, whenever you want. So there's also some new character presets, customization options that are now available. I'm pretty curious to see what they have added. There's some newly added quests where you can discover additional hairstyles, hair colors, and eye colors throughout Embervale. Love that. There's some more armor sets and vanity outfits that can be tinted using a brand new crafting system, and this works for most of the armor sets and vanity outfits, so you might find a few that are not compatible, just FYI. But there's a new tinting station for your base to create and apply these color palettes, and the color palette items can be found and crafted to create endless customization for most of the existing armor pieces, which I'm excited because I know some people were really wanting, like they really liked the look of armor, but they just did not like the color of it, so this could hopefully help you out there. But yeah, another really big update out of Enshrouded. Also on May 13th, Once Human revealed its kind of next big visional wheel event. So the Lunar Oracle is coming to an end pretty soon here, which means we're going to have another new event called the Starfall Inversion. And their kind of introduction to that is A colossal, shattered star looms in the heavens, its gravitational tides sweeping across Nelcott. Under their aberrant influence, objects and structures on the surface begin to rise uncontrollably. Yet amid the chaos lie hidden challenges, treasures, and lots of fun. Are you ready to ascend into the sky? So this event, the planned period for it to run is going to be late May, so pretty soon here, all the way to late September. And the scenarios where you can potentially find this event available are Manibus, Evolution's Call, Prism versus Clash, The Way, and The Way of Winter. And that does not include novice scenarios, FYI, for that. So the kind of idea, what the mechanics, if you will, the gameplay that this new Visionary Wheel event is going to bring in terms of survival and such. Basically the inverted star will approach Nelcott daily from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and this is in-game time, which is about 30 real-world minutes. So when this happens, during this period between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. in the game, it's going to unleash this immense gravitational tide, and under that influence, structures on the surface will be pulled skyward, creating these aerial exploration zones in some settlements, some areas. So you can use the floating energy rings to swiftly traverse the sky, uncover mysterious star advent loot crates, as well as this thing called unstable aggregates, and collects special materials known as gravity crystals. But of course, you're going to have to be careful of those gravity warped deviants as well. Now, when affected by these gravitational tides, you're going to enter a very unique low gravity state known as stellar levity, which basically allows you to jump higher, extend your air time. You'll have immunity to fall damage, which is just always nice in general, and you'll also have significantly increased load capacity, so you can carry a lot more too. So there's going to be new formulas as well that allow you to craft items that further enhance your aerial exploration and mobility. So as a metahuman in this game, you will basically you'll quickly adapt to the low gravity. You'll be able to master this kind of devastating plunge attack. You can perform a melee attack from high altitude to quickly descend in your aim direction until you hit something or land. And obviously deviations, some of them will struggle to unleash their full power in the skies, but they'll find a way to try and ruin your day anyway. So they've also kind of because of this, they have some combat updates, because you kind of have to when you're bringing in zero gravity, right? So Starfall Inversion is going to introduce some new gear sets, some mods, as well as some cradle adjustments. So, for example, one gear set is going to be the Gravity Tide set. If you have one piece equipped, it's going to basically increase your jump height. A second will increase your magazine capacity. 3 pieces are going to take, you'll be able to take reduced damage from deviants while airborne, and you'll also gain a damage boost after mid-air movement. If you have all 4 pieces equipped, you're going to have an even larger damage boost after mid-air movement. And there's also going to be a mod suffix called Downstar. So this is something that can go on pants and shoes. And basically, when attacking units below you, you're going to get some critical damage, elemental damage, weapon damage, and status damage buffs. So that's pretty cool too. And then obviously the cradle, they will have the effects of the cradle will be adjusted to fit this new Visional Wheel season, basically. So all that aside too, there's going to be some survival challenges. So during the Starfall Inversion, kind of like I said before, you'll be able to obtain these things called gravity crystals by opening Star Advent loot crates in surface settlements, and you can collect unstable aggregates in the sky, or by defeating gravity warped deviants. Now, gravity crystals, they can be used to craft special items or construction parts after unlocking the requisite formulas, of course. And there's some survival items here, like the gravity neutralizer, which is a mysterious device, the product of Rosetta Research, or Mayfly, Grit, to be honest. It can be toggled on or off at will, and if enabled during the Starfall Inversion, you can hold jump in midair to hover in place, or automatically hover while using ADS or OTS. So do some hovering. Honestly, it might make building a little bit easier. There's also this item called a gravity tuner. This is a basically something that temporarily nullifies the anti-gravity effects of a Starfall inversion. So you can use it to turn it on and then use it again to disable the tuning effect. So if you're just tired of like floating around, you can just quick turn that on just to bring back gravity. And it's fully reusable as well. And there's also going to be a lot of other item formulas and such to find during the event. Now, this is like really interesting for me as someone who likes to build in Once Human. There's going to be some new construction parts. One of those being the Anti-Gravity Foundation, which is a special floating foundation that can support other structures, which is pretty interesting. It can be built in your territory or other buildable areas, allowing you to bring your dream floating city to life. But do note that gravity crystals will not be refunded when demolishing these anti-gravity foundations, so just kind of be aware of that too. And they also have another note that says, like, basically anti-gravity foundations are very similar to ceilings, and so they are compatible with all ceiling wallpaper cosmetics. And then finally, they had a little thing about vehicles. So during a Starfall inversion event, vehicles will gain increased jump height, extended airtime, and will not lose durability from high altitude falls, which is nice because, you know what, I'm always like accidentally driving off cliffs, so that's great for me. But anyway, so that is the main news for this week. Only a few games, but each one definitely had a lot that they're bringing. So let me know if any of these are particularly exciting to you. I mean, I'm kind of loving them all, to be honest. I don't think I have a favorite because they're all my favorites in this week anyway. But I'll see you guys next week for another Survival Game News Weekly Roundup. Until then, keep surviving and keep thriving.